minutes last game. God only knows how long this one's going to take.
We will see. You've also got that Tree and Protector to do plenty of stalling as well. I think Question Mark have a slightly better draft this time around. You've got, well, it's kind of similar to what Aries' draft was in Game 1, right? Where you had this situation where you had the Treant and the Snapfire, you had this setup for the pick-off potential, you have a team fight potential with the Mortimer's Kisses. Hopefully, they itemize it a little bit better on the tree, as well as you've actually got this person that wants to frontline in the Legion command this time. So, MyPro, he's going to need to play that sacrificial style. He needs to make sure that he's living at the start of these team fights, and beyond that, it's just up to the rest of his team to follow up. But I'm thinking that that, plus the fact that it's on the Singaporean server, might give them a tiny little extra edge that they need to take it out.
I did forget about the servers, of course, but yeah, you are right. It is back the way of Singapore, so see if it does affect anything for Question Mark. It is an Arc Warden after all. It's you do need to have the best ping possible for this hero, I'm sure. I don't play it personally, Danog. I do have standards myself, but some people out there, they enjoy this these free wins with this hero. And
some people are masochists.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, I was trying to say it nicely, but thank you for that, Danog. You spam the Spark Wraith there on the Banner Rune spot, and that will be a fair bit of harassment out, but it's going to be 2 Bounty Runes for each side. And we get into it. Game number 3. Of course, this time around in this mid lane, very, very different heroes here. We have the Queen of Pain versing the Void Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that this is going to be Queen of Pain favored. You're not going to be doing all that much harass except with that Shadow Strike. And well, I want to see how the Void Spirit decides to level up his abilities, because the Resonant Pulse, which he's got at level 1 to make sure he can secure that range creep, isn't all that effective against a Quap if you're not just copping for a strike.
Cal, a lot of damage from Phoenix. You're going to be a little bit cautious about how close you do get to this hero, as it does tend to hit very, very hard. Spot lane, you'll see MyPro and Leaf with each other up against LWW and Haru. Haru has already committed the first meta of the game. And when you do look at the matchup, it shouldn't be too easy of a laning stage here for Haru up against MyPro and Leaf. Especially just the LC alone can be a real pain to deal with as a Terrorblade.
It can be a pain to deal with, I suppose, but you've also got the fact that how many points are you going to get into this Thunderstrike on the Disruptor? You don't really want to be using the Legion Commander W to try and stop all of that aggression coming through, but I think it's more of a necessity if you get more than 1 point into it. Whereas with this Disruptor, oh, Haru might be in a little bit of trouble here getting chased down.
Scatter Blast did slow him down for a little bit, but it's just going to be a bit of harass out on Haru. He will be able to salve up and be just fine. LWW going to force them back as he does look to salve, but hasn't quite yet. Still top lane, Rico. Very, very low, and with that Flux, it is going to end up being enough for KNP. So, something you have to watch out for, that Flux damage.
It's a nice start, and the fact that MyPro and Leaf were able to restrict this Terrorblade to the same number of last hits while in that meta form as the LC was able to grab. They might even grab a kill here too.
WW going down very easily to Leaf and MyPro. So I said it was going to be a hard lane for the Terrorblade, but even for this poor Disruptor, you get caught by that Scatter Blast slow and suddenly you are more than likely just dead.
Yeah, I wonder if he might bring some more vision back to this lane. I hope he grabs that Wraithband recipe. Yeah, he's actually sacrificed his own clarity to make sure that he's able to do that. Give Haru the easiest lane possible.
Good position 5. Of course, out from our Disruptor. Back into that mid lane. Phoenix, he's having a decent old time. Just hasn't really been harassed out of this lane of the Void Spirit. Is even with the Quap in terms of last hits, and I suppose as the levels go up, there might be a little bit more kill potential between these two, but for now, they will just be farming still top lane. Leona X, a little bit low, and actually a lot lower with that Whirling Death, does go down to Rico on the Clockwork.
Yeah, not really in too much danger of the turnaround potential. Still had the 2 Wraith Bands coming to KNP on the top side, so he wasn't able to just sit back and right-click, and now it's the real dangerous part. You've got this Timber Saw. Shang-Chi, he's level 3. That reactive armor started to stack up, and well, he's nearly at the stage where he can just stay standing underneath this tier 1 tower. And you've got the Rico, who's starting to do a little bit of pulling, and that's going to coincide with the rotation as well, you would think, towards the mid lane and helping to secure that first power rune on the top side of the river.
Haru will pop the second meta of the game now. Just really spamming it every time it's off cooldown, and that's the way to play it. But Cookie in from Leaf and MyPro. Use the overwhelming odds. Now Kinetic Field gonna hold in Leaf. Haru does not feel safe enough to close the gap there onto the Snapfire, so we'll go for the harass on MyPro. But I love the fact that even with the meta up, they are more than comfortable just running at the side of this Radiant end.
Nice team play coming through there from Rico. Was able to deny away the double damage runes, so Mikhail's not going to pick it up. He had the bottle available for him. And Phoenix, he's starting to stamp himself here in this mid lane with a bit of dominance coming through.
It's eventually expected from the Void Spirits, just so much magic damage as the levels go up. And Mikhail's going to have to be pretty careful. Once you hit that level 6 mark, things get a little bit spicy here.
Yeah, that Blink, only level 1 as well, so it's not like you're going to have that full maneuverability. Oh,
nice Aether Remnant. Slowly dwindling away at that HP pool of the Quap, still looking back up to that top lane. Timber, having a good old game so far. He hasn't really been able to slow down KMP too much on the Arc Warden yet, but bot lane, LWW going to get caught by the Cookie, and MyPro is trying to close the gap. Body blocks aren't going to be as effective as you would hope from Leaf, and he's going to go for a TP play now, but they have the damage output. It's going to be another TP from Rico to try and... Well, he was going to try and help out, but now he's just kind of stuck here.
I suppose it's okay, considering they were away from Haru for a decent amount of time. He's been able to catch up somewhat on his last hits. Sitting about level with all the other cores in the game. It's only the Timbersaw suffering thus far. But that's the thing with Timber, right? Especially now, just hit onto his level 5, 3 points in reactive armor. You don't have the greatest kill potentials just yet on Question Mark to deal with him. You're just too mobile to be able to put, 1 point into the Timber chain. You're totally fine with that. Just get out of any sort of nature's grasp. So I think until they have the overgrowth available, you're not going to get a kill on this Timber. Maybe if Quap rotates, but I don't think he's all that keen just yet.
Just hitting the level 6 mark now, Mikhail, having to go all the way back to the fountain.
Speaking of rotations, Phoenix was considering it, having just picked up that illusion rune in the bottle, was making his way towards that top side, but thinks better of it. Just going to keep this wave pushed in to the mid tower as much as he can. What's the Quap going to do? She's come down towards the bottom side. They're trying to get a kill onto Rico here, but wisely TPing away, or just moving away actually on Haru.
Rico going to be more than safe. They might even just start pressuring that bottom tier 1 tower. They do have the siege creep there now. Rico, obviously not the best at defending towers. Still mid lane, Leaf. Does have the living armor to keep him up. Damage coming in from Phoenix, and he doesn't bother going for the secondary astral step. Instead, he might have to run his way down bot as this tier 1 is still going, but top lane, KMP, going to be chased down by our Timber. Leaf going to TP in on the Snapfire, and it looks like our Timbersaw might be dropping very, very low. Another Spark Wraith, and he's gone. KMP, some nice jukes out in LWW.
Yeah, they're going to get this Disruptor as well, you would think.
There's no real way to run for him. He does get the glimpse off, but they got the Nature's Grasp off in time with the Scatter Blast to fly out. LWW will Kinetic Field, hoping for the neutrals to deny him, but now Leaf does go down to Phoenix. And they do actually end up saving LWW on the Disruptor.
Yeah, nicely done. Resulted in both of those Astral Steps being used, so it's not the worst. It means the Queen of Pain can play a little bit more ballsy, try and make these risky plays happen. Nice Ocean Heart being grabbed from the neutral camp there as well means that Phoenix doesn't even need to use that bottle quite as frequently. Just able to walk on back. He's going to have a great time. Oh, picking up one as well. Balance in all things, Ice Frog.
Very nice. Shang-Chi just going to stay up at this top lane and keep buying space for his Terrorblade, who is just farming the jungle at the moment, and he's probably going to be there for quite a while. KMP doing normal Arc Warden things, rushing a Midas. So I'd expect nothing less.
They're thinking about a kill here onto the Clockwork. You've got MyPro, who's just hit onto his level 6, walked slightly onto that low ground. I think they would have seen it on the Radiant side, so has to be a little bit careful. Top side, this is where the action is though.
Oh, get himself out this time. It's a lot of damage up, but Phoenix is trying to help out. It looks like they might lose Shang-Chi, and they do eventually, but you lost 2 supports in the process. MyPro even TPing up on the Legion Commander.
Radiant's middle tower
Phoenix,
is under attack.
I'd still call that a decent rotation.
It's a pretty decent rotation, and Aries, they free up the space for Haru to make a lot of this action happen. I think if they got the dual damage, that might have been okay for question mark, but considering the fact that, you know, nothing really eventuated from it other than TB just getting some space to farm, it has to be an Aries victory.
Rico gonna make his way up top. We'll see a kinetic field onto MyPro, and the hook shot is gonna connect on a creep, but MyPro is still trapped within the cogs. Again, they just collapse on this Legion Commander, and with that, they can actually get this top tier 1 tower. Living armor is gonna be nowhere near enough to keep it alive.
Timbersaw gets all those reactive armor stacks up with the creep wave and just tanking the tower hits as well. They're totally happy with this, and they're all in position to be able to contest these bounty runes on the top side. I think they could probably start making a move down towards mid-tier 1, honestly. There's not that much that they can do to push them back. It's the least tree-dense area, I suppose, so tree and protector is not quite as effective in any sort of team fights there.
Well, WW, he's looking for the glimpse attempt, but Mikhail was able to blink out of range. Had that been a max level glimpse, it may have been a different story. It's only level 3 at the moment. Haru, that meta now going into that mid-tier 1 tower. Leaf will be around to defend, and so will MyPro. But there's a lot of heroes here from Aster.Aries, and we just saw him about a minute ago. They want us to keep fighting, I'm sure. Aries. They're going to let it be.
I think if that had been at like 9 minutes, they would have stayed and tried to contest that, even though meta was running out. But just because it had reached that 10-minute mark, you have the risk of the overgrowth and the Mortimer's Kisses being available, and you never want to push into that this early on where you don't have the capabilities of breaking out of it.
They can just kill that tier 1 tower up. The Onyx going to be on defense duty. MyPro and Leaf going for a cookie attempt, but it was just barely off Phoenix. So you do have that duel available that we haven't really seen in this game yet. MyPro is still looking for that opportunity.
They would have committed the Snapfire ulti if that landed.
Spot lane, hook shot is going to be out onto the real KNP. And as you Arc Warden, there is not really much you can do to protect yourself here. We'll try and get a trade with the Tempest Double, and LWW is not going to survive. They did manage to get one final hit in.
And the Midas, very nice.
Very nice indeed. But he does lose his life in the end, and unfortunately, question mark, they're still just trying to get Phoenix in this mid lane. He continues to juke them out with the Dissimilate.
I'm a little worried the fact that Arc Warden is still ahead of the Terrorblade despite all of the space being created for him. Sure, he's got a Midas, but still, you have to think that Haru needs to start making a lot more plays happen around the map. No points just yet in the magnetic field, so towers need to start falling before that becomes a factor. Especially this mid one, right? Like, even if you're able to take out the Tempest Double, it's pretty value, right? Like, that's what accelerates your farm ahead of anyone else. Arc Warden on his own doesn't really do anything until he has items. You need the Midas, you need the Maelstrom, which is about halfway to... Oh, they hook the real one on the bot side near the tower.
We have KNP going down again. Rico, very, very effective on this clockwork so far. And, well, MyPro is going to go for a duel attempt with the Mortimer's Kisses. They do get it, but he has a lot of reactive armor going. He's just not dying. They do commit the Sonic Wave eventually, but now Phoenix coming in with the DD. Going to go after MyPro. The cookie will get him out of the cogs. Meta from Haru still dealing a lot of damage with the glimpse back, and they do eventually kill off the LC. So both off lane is going down, and Aries, they are going to focus down that tier 1 mid tower once again.
And 3 ultis committed just to kill the Timbersaw. Didn't even get the dual damage. Nice rocket flare there by Rico to scout it out, but the all-important mid-tier 1 tower going down. And I think, well, maybe this will be the game decided by Vision. We talk about the Arc Warden needing some of these key items to come up online before he can actually achieve his win condition. If you're able to catch him out before then suddenly, question mark, don't have too much ammunition to be able to push forward with. So really nice Observer Ward near the Dire secret shop there to be able to get that hook shot.
Aster.Aries is looking good in this match. I believe this is the first match, in fact, where within the first 15 minutes they've had the net worth lead. And that's a real problem, especially for KNP, who's been caught out twice on the Arc Warden so far. You really need to snowball quite quickly on this hero. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a much tougher game. Rico has the hook shot up. Does see Lee, but he's going to go for the other hook shot attempt onto MyPro, and again connects it perfectly. MyPro will press the attack and run, but they definitely have a lot of damage out. In fact, there's more heroes coming in. Phoenix now jumping in, getting a dominating spree, and he will get another. Leaf also going down to LWW. I love this aggression from Aster.Aries.
Yeah, it's working perfectly. I mean, I know I highlighted the effectiveness of that Observer Ward that previously caught out the Arc Warden, but it's just had a compound effect as well, because with that one, they were able to push forward, get a kill onto 2 heroes, and in the meanwhile, you've had a Treant Protector who could have potentially been protecting his team, but he had to use 3 sentry wards just to find that one clever, elusive sentry that was placed down previously. So, really good value coming out here from Aster.Aries. Warding's important, Mike.
Sorry?
Warding's important.
Warding is very important, sir. We're going to control that dire triangle. Of course, question mark are going to try and get back in MyPro. Let's press the attack again. Phoenix is just waiting for him. Seeing how far he'll go. Leona X, Nature's Grasp. He's there. Mikhail going to jump in now. They commit the Overgrowth. They should be able to get these supports. Static Storm has been committed. Rico trying for a hook, but can't quite catch on to Phoenix. The LWW trying to get out of there, but eventually does go down with the Disruptor. I thought that could have been pretty bad for question mark, but ultimately Aster.Aries decide not to fight it out.
No, I think they were... I'm kind of a little lost as to what they were expecting to happen there. Phoenix wasn't in position to be able to follow up, unlike here where he's got the assistance of Sheng-Si, and he just pops Mikhail.
It's a great pick-off. I mean, sure, you lost both your supports, but killing off that mid-quap is going to feel a lot nicer here for Aster.Aries, and, well, they go straight onto a bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah, you know that Overgrowth was used in that previous big team fight around the mid-tower. You know that Mortimer's Kisses was just used, so now you can just park your Timber Sword down here on the bottom side. He's tanking up the tower hits, and, well, they're trying their best to take down this tier 1, but unless you've got the TB assisting you, you're probably not going to make it happen.
Slow process, KMP, TP in with the Tempest Stubble, and that Midas on cooldown. So they will just rush the Tempest Stubble now, but won't be able to lock it down long enough, so it's back towards that tier 1 tower. Should eventually drop. Living Armor delaying just a little bit, but they do get it.
But this is the thing, right? They know that the Terrorblade isn't there, otherwise that tower would have gone down so much faster. Why then do you not try and make a gank squad happen with MyPro and the rest of the supports to try and find the TB? Because he's clearly somewhere else. You've got decent vision that shows that he's not, you know, in the tri-camp area. You know he's probably not on this top side because that's where you've been hanging around. So where's left? Their tri-camp and their jungle. So try and make one of them happen. Even if you don't find him, you can maybe get a pincer move behind. Oh, just misses with a hook shot there. Might find Leaf still.
There's a bit of trouble on the northern side. Leaf is going to lose his life to Phoenix. Now, they're keen. They want to go for more. Jewel is going to be on the Timber Saw again. So Phoenix has a free game to just jump in with the Dissimilate. Now, Aether locking in Mikhail. Overgrowth not going to be there in time. They do end up killing off the Timber, but at what cost? Rico does finally drop, but now Haru does join the fray. Decides better of it. Be a 2 for 2.
I like the commitment there coming through from Sheng-Si. He was on about 100 HP, was going to tick down to the Shadow Strike anyway. I don't think he had too many reactive armor stacks onto him. So just fully suicidally committing in and blowing up Mikhail one more time means that the pressure on this Terrorblade is going to be much less going into this 20 to 30 minute mark. I'm a little surprised that question mark still committed forward with the Legion Commander duel because Snapfire had just died. You're not going to be able to pop a Timber Saw in that amount of time without the Mortimer Kisses.
That's what I was about to ask you. Why do they keep dueling the Timber Saw?
I mean, I don't mind dueling the Timber. You just need the magic damage to make it happen. And they don't have it. It's as simple as that.
Right. They might go for a smoke. Yeah, they will. I believe KMP behind. Those 4. Just buy space for your Arc Warden.
He's got the Boots of Travelers. He's going to be able to join in at some point. Maelstrom finished.
It's not the target they want to run into. It's going to be LWW, but they'll take what they can get.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's not quite what you want as for a 4-man smoke, but I guess you just take it.
You take it. If you could transition that into a mid-tier one, you're pretty happy.
Gonna try.
Radiant structure.
Press the attack and magnetic field. Great combination.
I mean, the fact that you're at a net tower disadvantage with a Treant Protector on your team is never a good sign.
It's true.
You think of those ones that you're just hating to go into. You think, if I want to push, what heroes don't I want on the other team? Venomancer, Treant Protector, Arc Warden. They got 2 of those 3. It's not good.
That's a good point.
I guess it Tinker as well. Hero's dead.
Let's not give these guys any ideas, right? I can't put up with the Tinker game, so. Haru is going to be working straight for the BKB up next, so just really wanting to be able to fight with his team, and we have seen that a bit in the previous engagements. He does like to get involved if he does have the Metamorphosis up and available. With that BKB, he's going to feel a lot safer moving in with his team. He's had the Manta up for such a long time now. Question mark, haven't really been able to slow this man down at all. He's had such a free game on this Terrorblade.
He's had a free game, and he's gone this unselfish build. You know, he's gone into the plus 250 health rather than the attack speed. So despite the fact that he's just been able to sit back and farm wherever he wants, they haven't punished him for it, right? So if they did, I suppose he might take a little bit longer to die. They would show up and, you know, maybe get the turnaround kill with the rest of the heroes on Ares, but it does weaken somewhat of their objective taking and their win conditions here with this -25 attack
going on. They have found that Timbersaw again, and they are going to be able to kill him.
No dual win.
It's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just take what you can get. Question mark do. I still just question allowing Haru to do this though. Like, he hasn't been touched on this Terrorblade.
He hasn't been touched, but by the same measure, neither really has KNP outside of a couple of you know, nice hook shots coming through there. So I think they're generally okay with it. He's nearly picked up the Mjolnir, so he's going to be able to push lanes out exclusively with his Tempest double. And you've still got a Terrorblade ranged hero into a magnetic field. It's not a great feeling.
Wims reaching out the Treant Protector. TP not going to be able to work out. Phoenix does manage to connect the Aether Remnant.
They're lost. That must be it. There we go. I'm assuming Pack lost.
Yeah. That's fine.
Very nice.
Yeah, Leona's asking the real questions. Still, how do you think the state of the game is? Like, Aster.Aries obviously ahead, 4K net worth lead. The Arc Warden though, KMP, you mentioned it, he is farming, he's getting there. He does have the Maelstrom up now.
About 150 or so away from the Mjolnir, so that's nice for him, but you have to think about the later stages of the game as well. We talked about on the panel the issues that Question Mark have had with closing out games, right? It's all well and good to be able to defend endlessly with this Treant Protector and the Arc Warden, but when you try and take the initiative, what really happens? You know, so I feel like their lineup is so much more based around getting this pick off with the Legion Commander, scaling into the late game, and just overwhelming them with 2 heroes against the 1.
That's fair. So you think Aster.Aries are more the team that's kind of on a timer here?
I think so. They've got some good timing so far with the TB, but you need to make something happen with it before it gets too out of hand. Especially with the Timbersaw.
We can't go yet, sir. You're missing your Void Spirit. There we go.
He knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you've got a Timbersaw, right? He drops off. That's just a foregone conclusion that's going to happen. You can get a Lotus Orb for yourself and give it to the TB or maybe even a Lincoln's, and that'll help him out a little bit. Same thing with the Void Spirit, right? Yeah, you can get the Silence, which is going to be handy against the like of a Queen of Pain, but it's the Terrorblade that's doing the heavy lifting. And if you've got a direct counter on the other team that's still having a pretty decent game, you've got to be at least a little bit concerned.
I wonder, Daniel, do you think we're going to get a new hero anytime soon in Dota?
I think it's going to be Valkyrie. Like, people have...
Valkyrie?
Yeah, people that there were some leaked files and that sort of stuff with, like, Vampire, Puppet Master, and Valkyrie. And I just think that because TI-10 was supposed to be in Sweden, Valkyrie is kind of, like, lore connected. So maybe that was how they were going to go about things.
Okay. Thank you for that, Dan. I didn't even realize there was a potential hero called Valkyrie coming out. The only one I'd heard of is that Puppet Master.
There's been some murmurings as well about, there were a couple of heroes called Valkyrie and Puppet Master, and a vampire type hero in a certain other MOBA that people are saying maybe there'll be some heroes ported over. Who knows? Okay. I'm keen on that.
I am too.
Give me Chipper, give me Bombardier. That's what I want.
Oh, here we go again. We're going to have a look at some couriers, sir. Not many couriers going on, though. It's been mostly the classic donkey. That's obviously a boar, but...
They got to up their game.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's a cute one.
What is that?
I'll see if I can find you the name. Is it the dog? It's like a bloodhound, right? Waldy the Faithful.
Oh, that's adorable. It's a great name.
Oh, is he like a... What do they call those? Like a Saint Bernard? No. No, he is just like a bloodhound, I think. Because, like, you know the Saint Bernards that go on the Alps and they have the little tankard of brandy around their neck for travelers and that sort of thing? Yeah.
Luckily for us, there is a reconnection now. We should be going ahead soon. And just before we unpause this game, if you are voting for the Arcana vote, please, for the love of God, no sniper.
Witch Doctor. Give him the votes.
I voted Witch Doctor.
Good man.
All right.
We're back into things, and I think they need to get up a smoke, even if it's not to specifically find any heroes. They need to get some deep wards up right now on Aster.Aries that are going to enable them to make these sorts of rotations happen. They should have seen where that rocket flare came from if they were paying attention to the left side of the map, but it doesn't look like they're making too many moves, so this is exactly what Aries need to do. They're quickly taking the Roshan. Haru, that second life is going to be pretty handy, although they could even give it to the Void Spirit now that he's picked up his Ag Scepter. Typically, you don't want to go into it straight away as a first item. You want to transition from an Orchid into it because the build-up feels so underwhelming. But he's had a decent game himself. He's even picked up this Arcane Rune, so now's the go time.
Looking good for Aster.Aries. Immediate smoke. Right into that dire side triangle. Haru on the front lines.
Meta's nearly done.
We'll run into the Tempest Stubble. We'll break his smoke on it. He'll just accept the gold, or maybe not. The magnetic field gonna buy some time, but no. It does go down, and they look for more.
See you later, Courier. Just getting slashed.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
That'll be
attack.
it, though. Just a Tempest Stubble and a Courier.
Good reactions from Question Mark, but I keep saying it, you can't be reactionary with this meta of Dota. You need to be playing proactively. You need to make the enemy team do something to what you're doing. Have them on the back foot, because otherwise, especially in this game, where I suppose they can do it a little bit with the Arc Warden draft, but no, they're wanting to go on the front. They want to find LWW as the main priority.
Great hook shot in from Rico onto Leaf. He's going to stop any form of Mortimer's Kisses flying out. Sonic Wave is going to be there, and the Overgrowth is also out. Now the Mortimer's Kisses do come in, but they are still going. Aster.Aries willing to fight. MyPro needs to go for a run. Leaf will do the same. Chakram in from Shang-Chi. And Rico actually dying to KMP on the Arc Warden. That was the Tempest Double, killing off the Clockwork. So 2 for 1 so far, the Quap losing her life. I suppose for Aster.Aries, you lose 2 supports, you get the mid Quap. Are you really that upset?
I don't think you're upset because it could have gone so much worse. You know, they got the Blink duel onto the Void Spirit, so he wasn't really a factor in that team fight in terms of offensive potential, but you want to be building up that dual damage.
Oh, MyPro. He's sticking around a bit too long in the mid lane. Cookie is going to save from Leaf. Shang-Chi seeing if he can go for more, but cannot.
That Disruptor should be target #1 every single time. Speaking of, they caught him out and they get the hook shot.
That's a big, big pick off. KNP down again, and it's Rico of all people to take it on the Clockwork.
Yeah, our MVP from game #2, Rico, he's been fantastic with these hook shots landing. And it's typically LWW that plays the Clockwork on Aster.Aries, so he's fitted into this role real nicely.
That he has. And they're going to slowly start chipping away at that mid-tier 2 tower now. This Living Armor going to delay things, but
Meta's up. Like, you could push. 35 seconds, no Arc Warden. They're forced to pump the Glyph. That might kind of reveal the fact that this Arc Warden's in no position to defend right now.
Of course, that Dragon Scale even helping out on Shang-Chi. That tier 2 is just certainly gone.
Not willing to pop the meta just yet, but the fact that you can now take away the outpost from question mark is a huge bonus for Aster.Aries. But they're content to just pick up these bounty runes. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade, and, well, more importantly, we talk about some of that vision that they needed to get up. Now's the time where you have the freedom to place it.
Haru looks like he wants to go for another bottom tier 2 tower now.
I wonder if someone's going to spot out this observer ward that was just placed in front of the tier 3 tower in mid, because the sentry's only got about 5 seconds left on it, so that creep wave not going to walk over it in time. Thankfully, nighttime saves Aster.Aries, so this is going to be super deep and super hard to deal with.
LWW
Gonna
run into Leona X. Completely avoid each other. Still having a look around, see if you can spot anyone out.
They've lost 2 tier 2 towers without having to use the meta. Like, that is a big deal. And they've still got, how long? A minute left on this Aegis. So now you've still got that capability. They're going to go in, found MyPro a little bit.
No glimpse yet. Oh, they're still safe, but no, they're just going to let Rico hookshot in. Cogs push back to the low ground, but Phoenix is still going to have the damage output, so it's no real problem. KMP, he's trying to split push with the Tempest double. It's not really being that effective, though.
Yeah, as best he can. LWW, I think, has auto-attack on because he attacked that Legion commander up onto the high ground. So that did reveal that they had that vision up there. They made sure that they got rid of it ASAP.
It really does go back to the point you were mentioning before, where it's about being proactive rather than reactionary here for question mark. We just haven't seen them smoke up and try to take a big team fight. In fact, Lee is in a spot of trouble now. Phoenix going to get a very easy Yules into the Aether Remnant. Lee's still alive. The Overgrowth going to come out. They're just trying to get the Snapfire out of here. A great Sonic Wave in from our Quab. The Aegis will also expire on Haru, so it looks like that's time for Aries to back off.
And Leaf's still alive. He had an urn on him as well, but the getting on point with that living armor from the Treant Protector and standing underneath the tier 4 towers made sure he didn't get ticked down from it. He's been great all game so far, Rico, but he missed with his hook shot there. I think that is a completely different team fight if he goes in and is able to soak up a lot of that save potential.
At what point do question marks start fighting back? I mean, it's just been so defensive. Is this just the game plan? Just keep buying space for KMP to keep split pushing?
That's all they have. That's all they've got at their disposal. I mean, I suppose 10-second BKB on the Queen of Pain is nice, but you need to be roaming as a squad with the Legion Commander and the Snapfire to be able to take full advantage of that. Like, Snapfire is pretty tanky. Greaves, stats from Clumsy Net, a wand, that's all you need as a strength hero like that.
That's back to farming for KMP. He's working towards that MKB now on this Arc Warden. Haru doing the exact same thing, also trying to get an MKB up on this Terrorblade, and something tells me it might be a little bit more effective on this TB.
Now that he's got the Skadi as well, just that extra HP means that even if you do get this 4-man smoke rotation through, it doesn't guarantee a kill, even in the duration of the duel. Preemptively using the living armor, but I don't think they're in any position to try and stop it. They're going to try and find Leona, but he's out of dodge.
That tier 2 top tower though, it's gone. That's your final outer tower now for question mark going down. They are not even trading the bottom tier 2 tower.
They have to. In my mind, they absolutely have to do a play like that, because then you can set up, you can have the Snapfire in an advantageous position, and more importantly, you can take back one of these outposts, because you're just going to be falling further and further behind if you don't.
I agree. Hasn't been happening. KMP, he'll go in with the Tempest double once again, but he'll just even avoid the tower, go after that creep wave, see if he can catch it up.
Expires.
Does.
Doesn't do much of anything.
Still, I mean, Aster.Aries just control the map. They have a 9k net worth lead. Only 2 kills ahead, but with a 9k net worth lead, you're just not going to feel great taking a fight for question mark.
This is legitimately one of these games where Arc Warden dies without buyback and Aster.Aries just win.
Yep.
He had 2,200 gold and he's just used it on a Demon Edge, so he will not have buyback for the longest amount of time. So it just puts, not necessarily pressure, I'm not sure if Rico realizes it, but think he is the game-winning condition again for Aries. I feel like he did it that time in game number 2 with those stolen burrow strikes on Rubik, and his hook shots could be go again. It's even going into that Ag Scepter for the overcharge.
I mean, you can't even blame Aster.Aries for not trying to make a high ground play anytime soon either. When you control the whole map like this, it's just it's almost a free win to just keep farming.
Yep.
While Question Mark don't.
Well, I still think there's a point where the Arc Warden can come back into things. You know, he's going into the MKB, which I think is good. You know, you need it to be able to burst through a lot of this damage super quickly. But will it be enough? And I'm just not quite so sure.
LWW. I think they wanted the glimpse on that Tempest double, but falling asleep behind the wheel there on the Disruptor.
Oh. He's on the low ground, but where is the clockwork? That's the more important question.
You imagine Aster.Aries might just want to go for the next Roshan play soon. I mean, it is up.
Radiant's bottom
It's up.
tower is under
You've
attack.
got nearly level 20 as well on the Void Spirit, who, by the way, queuing up a Dagon. We love to see it.
You do love to see that. I mean, the faster you can blow up KMP, the better. Who cares for Magnetic Field if you have a Dagon 5?
They're all clustered around this area. Void Spirit's probably the furthest one away. He's trying to get that level 20 himself, but I don't know. I feel like when he's baiting it a little bit, I feel, on this Arc Warden, but how much of it is bait, how much of it is being in a poor position? Because I feel like he could have died a couple of times throughout these stages in the past 2 minutes or so. They've spotted out the fact that Roche is up though, so Aster.Aries make a beeline for it. It's got the cheese. Oh, and this telescope on the Disruptor is going to be super handy, given the extra range as well to the TV, which is going to be handy.
The dream. Absolute dream for every position 5. Aster.Aries for a quick Roshan play. They know their bot lane is just slowly being pushed in. And I mean slowly. It's really only Leona X and Mikhail there. KNP gonna push in the top lane with the Tempest double, but Aegis goes. But Aster.Aries, double damage is still active for Phoenix, so if you can catch someone out, it'll be a very easy kill for the Void Spirit.
See, now this time on the Treant Protector, I don't mind seeing a 4-step, because your game completely revolves around this Arc Warden surviving and being in the right position to do damage for your team. And there's a Clockwork on the other team who's probably going into the +2 power cogs hit to kill. So you need that save potential. Now he's going into the Meteor Hammer. Now he's soaking up a lot of this farm on the bottom side, which is good. So, question mark, they're making the right decisions. It's just a matter of, is it too little too late for him? You can see they're just trying to bait stuff out. Maybe someone's going to go looking for this Treant Protector. Mikhail's hanging around nearby, level 18, so he's got that burst potential. Now he reveals it to try and make them back up a little bit. Clockwork, he's got the hook, but no one with him.
KMP, Tempest double gonna spot out Rico. Overgrowth, not gonna connect, and Rico just hook shots out of there. Straight out of there.
I mean, they had the Flux available. They could have slowed him down, but not wanting a part of it with that Tempest double. I mean, Arc Warden is a great hero in this game for question mark, if you can play it to its full potential. But we're just seeing some mismicroing here and there that just means that you're not getting that extra kill that you might need to alleviate the pressure that allows you to come back into this game.
You're going to have an Aghanim Scepter coming out sooner rather than later on this Disruptor to boot. He's just holding that Philosopher's Stone. Once that Axe is up, start to question how they take a team fight, question mark.
He's just like, give me the gold, boys. I'm the carry now.
On the brighter side for question mark, they do have a repair kit on their Treant Protector, so
if it wasn't annoying enough, Leona's trying to go for the double bonk onto the courier, reveals himself a little bit by doing so. But with the Blink Dagger, he's going to be able to be just safe.
It's being very pesky, Leona X. He's trying to be as disruptive as possible. Mikhail still just forcing in that bottom lane, but now there's Satanic up on your TB, and Phoenix is looking to go after Leaf. They do get the glimpse off in time. That'll be Leaf dead.
That's big. We can see he does have buyback, but there's not too many else on the team that do. So Aries realize their time is now. They've given the cheese over to this Timbersaw, so he's just going to be frontlining the majority.
No meta popped yet from Haru. He's being very, very patient with the meta usage. KNP gonna pop the magnetic field down, and that'll be enough.
They're trying to find this Treant Protector on the backside. They should know where he is. He blinks away. Can they catch him?
Looks like they may. Silence does connect Phoenix. Does he realize? Oh, it's a great Aether Remnant. See ya, Leona. Oh, yeah, he's gone. Thunderstrike was enough.
He's got buyback though, so the annoying times continue.
AMP still just split pushing with that Tempest double. Going for an Eye of Skadi up next on the quarter. Phoenix just still trying to work towards that Dagon.
I think it's perfectly fine to go a Dagon this time. Like it's all just about popping that Arc Ward before he's able to have the impact that's needed. He's 220 gold away from his buyback, so you don't expect him to really leave the base up until now, although TV, he's just slowly pushing away. Maybe trying to force the buyback out of the Treant Protector if he had it, is the only thing I could think of. Still holding on to that.
Uses Satanic to try and heal up, but magnetic field down once again from KMP. They're going to go in the field, but Haru, that is way too much damage to take, and he is going to survive. If that had been a Mjolnir proc, that would have been your Aegis gone.
It's only got 45 seconds left on it though, not the worst. And the tower gets healed.
That's my thing. I'm sitting here wondering, is it really not worth just popping your meta if you're going to commit for that tier 3? Is that going to be too big of a problem? Because he hasn't used meta in the past, I want to say 5 to 10 minutes.
It's been a while. I think they're just waiting for Question Mark to make a mistake as opposed to trying to take the game into their own hands. Ooh, they're going to be able to find out Rico. But what is that actually going to result in, if anything? The pings come out because Mikhail's keen to get a kill on the board. Don't know if this is the way to do it, though. We've got the Void Spirit nearby, and a Quap kill would be big.
He's got the hook shot, surely. And he does. Perfect line there from Rico with the cogs pushed back, and now the silences. No, Mikhail, he will be able to BKB and just TP his way out. Aster.Aries just unable to secure a kill. On the brighter side, they do find a Spell Prism, which is going to be very, very nice for our Void Spirit. Especially considering he did just pick up a Dagon to boot.
I don't mind him still just continuing to hold the Mindbreaker. You know, he's got plenty of reduction, and I think even just giving it to the Disruptor would be super handy for the cooldown. He's only 500 gold away from that Ag Scepter as well on Disruptor, so he's having a great day.
This Treant is got to be so annoying for the side of Aster.Aries. They just never are able to catch him out. KNP, his Tempest double will get glimpsed back. But looks like there could be an easy duel opportunity up at the top lane onto LWW. If he believes he's alone, which it seems like he may, MyPro is going to go for the duel attempt.
Real
now,
KNP.
KNP does come in, and they do win the duel. That is 40 damage now.
Only 2 duel victories have been on that Disruptor. I think they just need to hit him every single time. You know, there's no glimpse available. Now you can see that he's getting super close to that Ags. And he just dies so much quicker than this Timbersaw. Like, really, what are you worried about against this Timbersaw at the nearly 40-minute mark of the game? Sure, he could protect the rest of his team somewhat, but it's not going to completely turn the team fight around like a Disruptor ulti could.
Hook shot, bot lane, they go after the Quap again with the silences, and this time they blow him up.
The zap is there.
Radiant structures.
Well, Dagon, he does have the Spell Prism as well, so those cooldowns are much lower. Haru will be on defense duty on the TB. Leon, how are you getting yourself in these positions?
Just a cheeky little blink dagger, you know.
Go get the mangoes,
Take
Leona.
the mangoes.
Take the mangoes, come on, sir. Oh. Obviously, he's not just going to meme in the middle of
Does
the...
Rico know? Is he going to fire a rocket flare over the top?
There's a ping. Oh, he does know. Problem is, the guy's invis. Does have a gem available on the Disruptor.
They do, and when he reaches level 20, you'll have that rocket flare gives True Sight as well. So that's going to be super handy for picking off this cheeky tree.
It's going to be a lot of value once you hit that 20 mark.
Has to be careful. He walks nearby. Those creeps are going to start hitting him.
Great hook shot in from Rico. He does catch him out, and he knows it. He knows he's in there somewhere. Leona going to get out of the tree line. Does commit the overgrowth, but he has an Aghanim Scepter, so he rearms the hook shot. And even my pro going down at the top lane, Haru, just soloing the LC, and it's again without the meta. Just doesn't need it.
Does not need it. How long till Roche? 10 seconds, one of the fastest reset timers we can have. And what would be more important? I suppose it's the refresher that they're hoping for on Aries, already having 3 Ag Scepters completed on their team.
Onto the high ground again it is. KMP, up that magnetic field. This time around, this tier 3 may just end up dropping. That's a lot of damage out from your TB and your Void Spirit. They just jump in and they collapse on your Arc Warden. KMP is gone without buyback.
One death on the Arc Warden is all it takes.
Hook shot in. Have they found another? Looks like they have poured out the snap by Elite. He does go Swarm. But now an Axe is up on your Disruptor. Glimpse back onto Lethal Cookie again, but he does drop it. Now the Jewel is out onto the TB, but it is not looking great. MyPro about to fall and does. Now Mikhail has been left alone. Haru, he's on a triple. There will be another out from Phoenix. Getting that tree protector, and this well and truly does look like it's GG. They're going for tier 4s, they've had enough.
Yeah, they don't care, no tree and protector. You've got the repair kit on cooldown as well. Snapfire went forward to try and get it through, and that's it. 1 kill on Arc Warden, that's all it takes.
I mean, you literally called it. Very well done, Mr. Danog.
But even better done to Aster.Aries, right? They needed this win to be able to come through